Collectively, I don't think we shit on the Daughters of the Confederacy enough, and we need to bump those numbers up. We also need to understand the direct correlation between the Daughters of the Confederacy and Moms for Liberty today. Yes, it's 160 plus years later, but it's important to understand that. My name's Amy. I'm relearning U.S. history. You can find the full book list that I've been reading in my bio. You can also listen to a podcast called American History Tellers. I'll put that in the caption because that sent me down the Reconstruction era timeline, which led me to Daughters of the Confederacy. The Daughters of the Confederacy are a group of Southern belles. It's post-Civil War, and they changed the narrative. They changed the way that we speak about the Civil War, so much so that even in 2003, when I was in school, rather than being told it was the Civil War, a teacher told me straight up, it's the War of Northern Aggression. I screamed, "You're wrong," and I got sent to the principal's office. But the Daughters of the Confederacy, these women, they're the people that give us all the monuments. They do a big literacy push. They change the curriculum. They perpetuate the lost cause myth. They say these men that were fighting for the Confederacy were just Southern gentlemen. They were fighting for their way of life. This was about states' rights. It was not about enslaving people in perpetuity based on race. No, of course not. Absolutely not. They were benevolent owners of other people. The reason why there are Prager University videos online today that say slavery just wasn't that bad, big air quotes, is because of the Daughters of the Confederacy. It's still holding on this legacy of this Civil War because of the way that they changed the narrative. This is the only time in history, especially in the U.S. history, that I can find that the history wasn't written by the victors. It was written by the losers because the Reconstruction era was a failure, right? And when you hear that argument about states' rights, when you hear the argument about slavery not being that bad, I need you to know it comes directly from this. And the states' rights they were fighting for was to enslave people, right? And slavery itself, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 times worse than anything you learned in school. I mean that. It is worse than anything I think I could possibly physically imagine. Yeah, right? And Moms for Liberty is trying to use the same tactics today, right? They're trying to infiltrate school boards so that they can dictate how the next generation of Americans learn, how they teach kids U.S. history or science, among other things. So if you want to get involved, I highly recommend you run for a school board seat that is held by a Moms for Liberty member because they lost pretty big a couple of weeks ago. And I think we can have them keep losing, and we can actually make sure that our kids age appropriately are learning about U.S. history and science and all of these things that make them better adults. And if we're raising better adults, we are raising everything about the United States, right? To me, like, the kids they're the golden ticket. So we have to stop Moms for Liberty from using the same tactics that the Daughters of the Confederacy did.